Our next speaker is a leading proponent of social enterprise in our country. And to get things started today, he's going to talk about powering up social enterprise through competition and technology. If you could come onto the stage, Senator Bam Aquino is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, as well as the author of the Fair Competition Act. Thank you, Bam.
Thank you. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Good afternoon. Maria, magandang hapon. Good afternoon. Ma'am Beth, good afternoon. Mga kaibigan, mga kababayan, I'm very happy to be here. I'm honored to be one of the speakers addressing you today as we come together to build a brighter future for the Philippines. Hashtag 2030 now. To push for the common good, to push for the social good. Our world has made great leaps in the past decade, and it's really amazing how much our world has changed in the past 10 years. Terms like social media, the sharing economy, inclusive business, wala po ito 10 years ago. And yet, with all of these changes, with all of these differences, with all of these advancements, so many things still confront us. So many challenges continue to confront us, like hunger, war, discrimination, environmental degradation, and the very real and very big issue of poverty, with still over 1 billion people in the world considered poor. In the Philippines, there is a little different story. We've been experiencing tremendous economic growth. From being called the sick man of Asia just 10 years ago and lagging behind our ASEAN neighbors, we are now Asia's rising star, the fastest growing economy in the ASEAN, the second fastest in Asia, second only to China. But with the Philippines experiencing unprecedented growth and a number of investments pouring into the country, there's no better time than now to address the issue of our poverty and the glaring wealth gap in our society. Inclusive growth, our mission of sharing prosperity across all sectors of society, has gone from being a challenge and a slogan of government to a true imperative for our society, an inclusive growth imperative. Dahil sabi ko nga po, anong klaseng lipunan ang meron tayo kung patuloy ang pag-unlad ng ating bansa, pero ito'y para sa iilan lang? Kung ito'y para sa mga lugar lang gaya ng Quezon City, Makati, Cebu, and Davao, and NCR, kung hindi po nararamdaman ng bawat Pilipino ang kasaganaang ito, anong klaseng lipunan ang meron tayo? And so, dear friends, this inclusive growth imperative has become the most important part of our work in the Senate, and I would like to think of the work of many different government agencies. But of course, a lot of people ask me, so how do we achieve inclusive growth? How can we achieve the growth that is equitable and spread out across all the islands of the Philippines? Now, before I propose an answer, I'd like to share with you my experience as a social entrepreneur. So this is actually, can we have the next slide? This is actually me circa 2007 or 2008. Do we have that photo? No, we don't. Okay, ikaw na bahala, Janine. So we put up Happy Noy in 2007. We co-founded this social enterprise with a goal of helping women micro-entrepreneurs, and particularly our sari-sari store owners. Our experience working with them has deeply shaped our principles on poverty alleviation and inclusive growth through business. And what we found was that with the right programs, the right intervention, the right guidance, our micro-entrepreneurs, our Happy Noy Nanays, many of whom didn't even finish high school, very, very simple Filipinos, could graduate with the right support to become successful businesswomen. What we found was a basic formula for their success. We call it our 3 M's: money, mentorship, and market. For money, for these sari-sari store owners, we worked with a microfinance partner, Card MRI, the largest microfinance institution in the Philippines, and we offered them loans and capital to grow, earn, save, and even invest in new businesses. We made sure they developed the skills to handle money with financial literacy seminars and standard business training programs. We included personal and family development modules to our training, promoting holistic development through our second M, which is mentorship. And we found that with the right mentorship, even those who didn't finish formal education could become learned and successful entrepreneurs. These able entrepreneurs equipped with the skills, the confidence, and the capital were then linked to suppliers and distributors, the third M, which is market. And so supported by the three M's, many of our Nanay micro-entrepreneurs became true success stories. Many of them who started very, very simply with a tindahan as big as a window ended up with stores which were a little bit bigger and definitely earning more for their families. And this is why, friends, as a senator, many of the laws we worked on circle on these three M's: money, mentorship, and market. This is what we found micro-entrepreneurs need to be able to scale, to be able to grow, to be able to earn for their families. Karamihan po ng mga batas pong napasa po namin, nakasentro po sa tatlong M na iyan. For example, for the first M, money, we're currently in the period of individual amendments for the Credit Surety Fund Cooperative Act, which seeks to support small and medium enterprises in accessing credit. This will fulfill that missing middle, wherein our small entrepreneurs have a hard time getting capital for their business. The micro-entrepreneurs will have the cooperatives and the microfinance institutions. The medium and large businesses will have investors and the commercial banks supporting them. But our small enterprises, those who need to borrow 500,000 to maybe about 5 million pesos, who don't have any collateral yet, wala pang assets, but have contracts, have a good product, have really nice services, this is that missing middle we're trying to help. And we're hoping we can pass this law before the end of the year. Another bill that we're hopefully will address the first M, which is money, is the Microfinance NGO Act. And in fact, Mr. Manny Perlas of Lifebank is in the audience today, one of the leading microfinance institutions in the Philippines. We worked with the sector to develop this law. It will support our microfinance NGO sector, helping them grow and provide more non-collateralized loans to more Filipinos, but more importantly, the development of their sector to include financial literacy and business development is part of that Microfinance NGO Act. Ito pong batas na ito is just for signing by the President. So we're at the last step of this law already, and hopefully this will be signed before the end of October. That second act I talked about, the Microfinance NGO Act, also has something to do with mentorship, because these microfinance NGOs become the mentors for our micro-entrepreneurs. Kapag meron pong tamang tulong, tamang napupuntahan at tamang guidance na binibigay sa kahit pinakamaliliit na negosyante sa ating bayan, mga vendors, sari-sari stores, even farmers and fishermen, with that right guidance, they'll be able to grow and they'll be able to make something out of their business. Another M, well, still on the second M, mentorship, we recently passed RA 10679, or the Youth Entrepreneurship Act, signed into law just last August 27. This would have been my fifth law. This law just signed into law, not even a month old, includes financial literacy and entrepreneurial training, grooming young Filipinos to become the successful entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs of the future. This will affect the curricula of DepEd, TESDA, and CHED. And for the first time in our history, we will be including financial literacy and entrepreneurship in our school system. So for many of you here who are still students, hopefully, umabot po kayo sa panahon na kasama na ang pagnenegosyo at tamang paghawak ng pera sa inyong natututunan sa inyong mga paaralan. We go to the last M, which is market. We of course realized there was a need to establish ground rules in doing business in the Philippines so that startups and MSMEs have a better shot at getting a piece of the market share. So last July 21, the Philippine Competition Act was signed into law. This will level the playing field for startups and MSMEs by ensuring that businesses are competing through innovation, through quality, and through price, and not simply through size, muscle, and imposing barriers to entry. We hope that this will be a law that can support our MSMEs to be able to be that disruptive force and compete with the rest of the big businesses here in the Philippines. Alam niyo po, ang batas na ito, until the time it was signed, was the longest-running bill in Congress. First filed in 1987, only made into law in 2015. You can imagine that this law, which outlaws cartels, which outlaws abuses of dominant players, and outlaws anti-competitive agreements took such a long time to become law in our country. Many of our neighbors had their competition law signed decades ago. If you look at the US or even Japan, many of them before 1950. But we finally pushed for this law, and we're hoping that this will create that better market for our MSMEs to be able to compete at. This law sets ground rules, creating a fair and ethical environment for all businesses, from large corporations to our struggling MSMEs. The result, we hope, is improved quality of goods and services and lower prices for our consumers. And thanks to a healthy, competitive market, better chances of success for our MSMEs. Sabi nga po namin, kapag may kompetisyon, ang kalidad mataas, ang presyo mababa, at ang taong bayan panalo. Many of you have been following our office in our quest for better internet in the Philippines. Alam po nyo, we've taken the cudgels of this advocacy, and many people ask, bakit ba napaka-seryoso ni Senator Bam pagdating sa internet? Siguro mahilig mag-post sa Instagram. Or sabi nung iba, siguro masyadong dedicated sa kanyang video games. Well, the truth is, dear friends, for your MSMEs to be able to compete in the market, the most efficient way, what's coming out to be the best alternative infrastructure for our small and medium enterprises is to use the internet to be that platform. The quickest, most efficient tool to link people and businesses is the internet. Online MSMEs gain access to potential suppliers and distributors, and of course, gain that access to markets across the country and all over the world. This is why we have doggedly pursued the advocacy for improved internet in the Philippines. To varying degrees of success, I will admit, but we commit to you that we won't stop until we are not the last anymore in the ASEAN. Kahit number 9, Maria, hindi pa rin tayo papayag. We want to see that go up. To see the results, we need more players in the market, hence the Philippine Competition Act. And we need to see government make a significant investment in our internet infrastructure. And these days po is the budget time. So we're really trying to put this budget item in, where we can see government putting its money where its mouth is and saying, because we feel that this is important, we're willing to put in budget for better internet in the Philippines. Pagdating po sa internet sa ating bansa, we're talking about making the lives of our micro, small, and medium enterprises easier. We're talking about our ability to be able to talk and communicate with our loved ones. We're talking about social media, which currently has been said to be one of the main deterrents to corruption in the Philippines. The facets of internet go beyond just communication. It permeates all parts of our lives, it permeates all parts of business, and if we want to grow as a country, we need to solve this issue fast. Now, friends, you might be asking, the 3 M's, money, market, mentorship, all of these interventions focus on those 3 M's. And those 3 M's, we actually applied to our own little social enterprise 8 years ago in Hapinoy, and the other social enterprises I was a part of. And the question at that time was always, how can we see these interventions go beyond your social enterprise project? How can we see this support that a lot of our countrymen need go beyond the province, go beyond the barangay, go beyond the school that you're operating in? And that's why we wanted to have a hub wherein all of these 3 M's can come together successfully, and where our entrepreneurs, young and old, can experience the support that they desperately need. Last among the laws I would like to share with you today is my first law. And to be very frank, the law closest to my heart. The first law we passed in the Senate last July 2014, and in partnership with the Department of Trade and Industry, is the Go Negosyo Act, which mandates the establishment of negosyo centers in every town, city, municipality, and province of the Philippines. These negosyo centers serve as convergence points linking all of the 3 M's, money, mentorship, and market, to all of our local entrepreneurs. Mga kaibigan, this was our attempt to use our experience in social enterprise to form policy and to be that alternative infrastructure that our SMEs need to scale and grow their business. Currently, we have launched over 90 negosyo centers all over the Philippines, and we hope to support entrepreneurs in each area with the 3 M's so they grow and lift themselves and their communities out from poverty towards prosperity. The first negosyo center we set up was Cagayan de Oro, and this was done late 2014. The first one for 2015 was Iloilo City. And I have a story about Iloilo City because I was just there yesterday. Kahapon po, pagpunta po namin sa Iloilo, we met with a couple, si Melvin and Myrns. And this is for any of you here from Iloilo, this is over some special batchoy, no? Netong special batchoy, if anyone here is familiar. Sikat po yan, yung Netong special batchoy. We talked to them about their experience. Ano po yung kwento nila? Myrns and Melvin are OFWs. They returned to the Philippines last January 2014. Si Melvin po, isang guro, and he taught in Brunei for a number of years. But it seems in Brunei, once you reach 55, you're asked to go home. So umuwi po sila just this year. And they had heard over the radio, streaming radio by the way, Bombo Radio, over the internet, na magkakaroon ng negosyo center sa Iloilo. So they went to the center, and my first question was, sinong kakilala nyo doon? Yung isang officer ba doon, kamag-anak ninyo? Meron ba kayong kaibigan na anak ni Mayor o si Mayor mismo? Paano nyo, pagpunta nyo doon, did you know nobody in that negosyo center? And they said, sir, pagpunta ho namin doon, wala po kaming kilala. We went there, we talked about the talents that we have, and si Myrns actually is a baker. And in Brunei, underground, she was actually selling cakes to the Filipino community. So marunong ho siya gumawa ng mga cake. She went to the center, she asked for support, she was assigned Miss Mutya, who underwent our training programs. Mutya is a business counselor, and this is a new term we coined for the officers in our negosyo centers. Why business counselors? Because we found that our micro-entrepreneurs need counseling. They don't need to attend just one seminar. They need someone to talk to send a message on Facebook, to text kapag may issue at concern sila. So they talked to Mutya. Mutya said, alam nyo, kailangan kayong mag-continuing education. We have a couple of seminars here in the Negosyo Center, one on food safety, one on business plan, and one on entrepreneurial training. They attended the seminars, and this is about February and March. In the meantime, they were further developing their products. By April, they had gone to Land Bank and found that Land Bank actually had a program for returning OFWs. Nahirapan sila sa requirements, so what did they do? They went back to the Negosyo Center, and Mutya said, isa-isahin natin yung requirements, and let's work at it together. One by one, they went over the requirements. She went back to Land Bank, and I'm happy to say last month, they got their loan for 500,000 pesos, 7.5% per annum interest. Wait, there's more. So, nagkwentuhan po kami. Sabi nila, oh, sir, meron na kaming loan from Land Bank, nakakuha na kami ng equipment, meron na kaming, kasi noon daw, kilo-kilo yung kanilang raw materials, ngayon daw, pwede ng sako-sako, napakalaking bagay sa kanilang final price. I asked them, how do you sell your products? Wala ho kaming tindahan, we sell on Facebook. This is an example of that new economy that we're all trying to grasp. It's so exciting. And I have to admit to you, yesterday, kung mas secure lang sana ako, tutulo na talaga yung luha ko. But I was so overwhelmed because finally, we were able to see this case, end-to-end case, wherein our law actually meant something real to the people we wanted to help. They had these cakes, beautiful cakes. Their cakes, by the way, yung specialty ho nila are fondant. No? For those of you who are familiar in the baking world, fondant cakes are usually what you see sa weddings. And it seems kulang pa ng supplier ng fondant cakes in Iloilo. So they're sort of cornering that market. Go on Facebook, Myrns Creation. May Z po yun, Myrns. And they have a small video there showing the different things that they can do with their talent and with their skill and with the right help and support from government. Ano po yung susunod na kabanata? As soon as we left, I called up my friend, Mr. Steve Benitez, who is also one of the speakers today. And I said, Steve, meron ba kayong bows sa Iloilo? And he said, meron kaming 3 bows sa Iloilo. Pwede ba magbenta si Myrns dun sa inyong mga tindahan? And he said, let's set up a meeting this week. We're going to ask our FMD manager to talk to Myrns, and if their cakes, kung pasok sila sa aming quality check, we're going to have them selling in our Bo's Coffee Club in Iloilo. Pwede na po kayong pumalakpak. Now, can you imagine the 3 M's coming together? The access to capital through the Land Bank grant, the mentorship provided by the center and provided, hopefully, by Steve as well and his group in Bo's, and the market. being able to sell on Facebook, now, hopefully, with your fingers crossed, being able to sell in Bose, maybe one day, being able to sell across all of the Bose nationwide, and who knows, maybe across the ASEAN. Money, mentorship, and market. You see, for us so kasi sa kwentong yan, we see all of the advocacies that we're doing, all of the laws that we're doing, all coming together in the story of Ms. Mearns and Mr. Melvin. Now, a lot of us will ask, mga kaibigan, Senator, baka naman isang kwento lang yan. Baka naman fluke yan at hindi talaga natin kaya yang gawin throughout the rest of the Philippines. Baka naman yung bansa po natin nakadestino na maging mahirap. Baka naman po yung Pilipinas hindi na talaga aangat sa kung saan tayo ngayon. And I always tell them, 10 years ago, we were the sick man of Asia. 10 years later, we're the rising star. 10 years ago, our economy was in such a bad place that it would have been crazy to talk about wealth distribution because there was so little wealth going around. Ngayon po, the key is inclusive growth. Take note, not even economic growth, because we're experiencing that already. We have the economic growth. It's the inclusive growth which we have to work on. So ang sabi ko po, kung ang mga pagbabago sa mundo, napakagrabe, social media, the sharing economy, inclusive business, social enterprise, napakagrabe ng mga pagbabago sa ating mundo. Bakit yung pagbabago ng Pilipinas ayaw po natin tanggapin? Ayaw po natin tanggapin na kaya pong mangyari sa ating bansa. So to all of the naysayers, all of the people who will say, siguro one lang yan out of so many, all I can say is, kung yan ang paniniwala ninyo, sige po, kayo na lang yan. Pero kami dito, and I'm guessing tayong lahat dito sa Social Good Summit, the reason why you're here is not because you're thinking there is no point to a social good. The reason that you're all here is because you believe in the social good. The reason why Rappler put this up is because we believe in a better 2030 for all of us. So naniniwala po ako na kaya ho natin yan. We can achieve, we can actually get things done. And just in that simple story of Mearns, kaya naman pala na hindi tayo palpak. Kaya naman pala that things work out. Kaya naman pala na pwede magtulungan ang big business, ang small business, ang gobyerno. Kaya naman po. And we will continue. Just to clarify, I am not running next year. I am here for 4 more years. So definitely ho, in our next 4 more years until 2019, we will continue the fight, and that fight will be much, much better if you're there with us. Maraming salamat. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Aquino. We will remember what you told us: inclusive growth, money, mentorship, and market. Those are the buzzwords.